Welcome back to the vlog. Welcome here to Oceana, Papua New Guinea. This is our steepest and shortest runway here with Brad today, and we're just doing an 8 or 9 minute flight over to Sendeni. So let's go ahead and get started because we're already a lot behind time. Nose start over 14%. Reduce my fuel. Make sure that's on too. We should have like 7 to 8 or more knots on takeoff on headwind, which is good, considering it is pretty steep, 340 meters long and a 19% slope for the max slope. Our prop forward and go ahead and line up. So you can't really see the end of the runway from here. You can just barely see it. So I put something out there just so like a little orange on the ground, just so I can have an idea of where the center line is a little bit easier. Because it is so short, I don't really want to have to take any time touching my brakes or anything like that. I just want to be straight lined up for takeoff. With 20 degrees of flaps. Going over there at 8,000. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and line up with that orange. I guess you can see the end of the runway now, so. All right, there we go. Our brake back on, we already did that. Fuel caps and selectors are good. Turn Betty off for takeoff. Make sure we got full control movements. Going over 8,000. We're 6,300 pounds more or less, so 59 and 69. 69 for landing and 59 for rotate. Flaps are set, indicated, and verified at 20. This one, our brakes release is our safer bore point. After that, we're going no matter what. We've got a headwind, which is great. That'll help out a lot. But if we have any engine rollbacks afterwards, consider EPL, consider feather, the lowest terrain, 85, then 80 full flaps, emergencies, masters, crack our door. Tell these guys to brace. Hold that on. We already did our SAR call. We're 30 degrees, 4,000. 1360, so 1310. 1310. Ignition condition, flaps 20, fuel and harnesses. So let's get that. 1310, rotate 59, or basically whenever it'll let us take off. So because this is so steep, it's gonna feel like we're still going down after takeoff, because like the transition from there to climbing out is so much more. So it'll feel like we're still going down, but we are actually climbing. So okay. All stations Oceana 120.7 November Tango Kilo departing Oceana for Sendeni. $13.10. Okay, lock my elbow in. Airspeed's alive. There's 59, going down the hill. And then we can climb out.
Don't sink.
Yep, thank you. There we go. Please climb out initially just at 73 per second. We've got to get over these. The Mariwaka gap is up to 8,600, I believe. All right, now that we're up at a little bit of a safer altitude, we'll nose over a bit. Get our speed up to 85 and then start getting our flaps out. There we go. There's 10 degrees. There's 0.
500.
Now we'll just climb up at 100 knots for our best rate. OSB 6622, November Tango Kilo departure.
November Tango Kilo, mostly go ahead.
November Tango Kilo departed Oceana, time 5-4, tracking 186 on climb 8,000. Estimating Sendeni 03.
November Tango Kilo, copy on climb 8,000, confirm copy. Company traffic, November Tango Echo.
Negative, has he departed Sendeni yet?
November Tango Kilo. Traffic November Tango Echo Kodiak departed Sindenia time 45. For Ayura, not above 12,000. Estimate Ayura correction. For Goroka, estimate Goroka time 0120.
Copy traffic, November Bingo Kilo. November Tango Echo, you up on company?
Yep, we're over in Narambi right now at 11,000 on climb 12,000.
And how were the winds in Sandini?
The winds calmed down when we departed, but they were up. You'll have let me think about it, hang on. You'll have a little bit of a headwind on final.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, it took a little bit longer to get out of here. We want to go up through the Mariwaka because we actually want to go that way. And do you remember, was the Mariwaka plugged up?
Yeah.
All right, thanks. Okay, so that saves us the hassle of even going up that valley. Up here's the Mariwaka. The valley kind of goes up and then curves around, and then we come in this way. He says it's plugged, so we're just going to go. And over top of Sandini, was it clear?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Oh, he just departed, so we're just going to go over top of the Narambi Gap. That's because he said he's going right over top of that.
It's kind of stuffed up in the valley, but not like down at our altitude, so.
And what's the best way you recommend to get into the valley?
I would, well, we came out by the northwest area, by Boykoa, but we had to go around a bit.
All right, I'm going to be heading through the Narambi Gap and heading out that way, thanks.
Yep.
If you
stay up high and chop and drop at the end.
All right, thanks. If you do have other planes that are available, it's definitely very helpful having them tell you how they did it, because I might have gone up there and wasted my time, and that's why we brought that extra 50 pounds of fuel, which is just 10 minutes. In case we got all the way up there and went, oh man, now we can't get through there, and we had to come all the way back. You just don't know, so. We're just at 7,500. We really need to be closer to like, I think 9 or so thousand to get over top of these mountains over here, maybe? Maybe not quite that high, but with as much cloud there is all along the ridges. So you might waste 5 minutes on this leg, you know, and then you might waste 5 minutes on the leg going out of there. There's your 10 minutes that you weren't really planning on, really, so. All right, well, I'm just going to bring my torque to 1250 until we figure out what we want to do. Turn advisory, which means we're 10 minutes out, or 10 miles out. Elevation Sandini. November Tango, Kilo overhead to Narambi Gap at this time for Sandini. Estimating Sandini circuit 03. All right, let's bring open Sandini. Just click on that, and then there we go. Awesome. 5,500, but it says the touchdown zone's 5,300. So I'm going to do 6,300 for pattern altitude. I'm going to look at my weight. We're 6,200, so 68 knots for final. Climb up over top of this, and then crest around the corner. I think that should do it. What's the runway heading?
It's 2810.
All right, so 28. I actually think it's it's actually a little bit off from 28. The reality is, but that's what it says. I think it's more like 29 or 30 or something.
Okay.
I think, but I'm not. When we get on final, we'll take a look at it and see.
Touchdown slope is 4 degrees or 4%, and then overall slope is 7%.
This one's kind of shaped kind of like a banana a little bit. Like kind of like that. It has like uphill, a little crown, and then downhill, and then it goes back uphill.
Okay.
We want to land in the downhill section, pretty much abeam the windsock. If you land before that, you'll have a landing, and then you'll like shoot back off like I was saying earlier. So we want to land kind of in the downhill, and you can have these really nice smooth landings. If you land too early, then you'll just kind of bounce and then kind of fall out of the air from 4 or 5 feet up.
Okay, there's a downhill portion.
Okay, yeah, so this doesn't really depict it. It goes like this, how it's like that.
Okay.
So it looks kind of flat, but it's a little uphill, a little bit of a crown, and then downhill, and then up. You'll see when we get there, but that doesn't show it, though.
Okay, cool. I was making sure I understood what you're saying.
Yeah. Right, well, we'll go through this channel here, and then he said he came out near Boykoa, which is that OI.
Okay.
And we'll go around that corner, and then I'm hoping that it will open up for us to get down into the valley over there.
Looks pretty crappy over there.
Yeah, but this is on this side of the mountain, though.
Okay.
So there's a big mountain range in between where that's what that little ridge. That's what we're looking at. So
Okay.
I think when we get around it, when we get into the big valley, it should open back up.
Okay.
I hope. Otherwise, these guys can see the value of showing up on time. And spend the week in Kodiak. Yeah, you can barely see the ridge right here. That's not enough for me to feel comfortable going through, though. And this here, too, is we can hit terrain and then quickly see what the terrain is looking like.
Is that ridge that you were seeing right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You can put terrain on there, but sometimes it's more, like for me, it's more confusing because I'm just like, now I'm trying to decipher, like, where are those mountains where I already have in my head, there's the light, and I know how that looks in real life.
Okay.
The valley comes down, it goes up, and then cuts around. So we might even come all the way up here to Andacombe, and then come around, and then the whole valley should be open, in theory. I hope.
You're expecting once we get over to this lighter area, we'll be able to come around the corner.
That's right. Yep.
Of these clouds. So that might even be the edge of it, huh?
Yeah, I'm hoping. Because once you get to here, the mountains just drop off, so usually the clouds just drop off as well.
Okay.
This is a good time to go ahead and start my checklist. TOS is off, our VREF we've set up. We might as well get all this stuff on so we don't have to do it in case we have weather on the other side of these hills. Fort. This one's kind of a late final where you just continue straight ahead towards to the end of the runway. Power up 20 degrees, pitch for 73, go to the end of the runway, and then a hard right-hand turn back all the way around out. It's a very uncomfortable go-around. Moresby 6622, November Tango Kilo.
November Tango Kilo, Moresby, go ahead.
November Tango Kilo, revised estimate, Sendini time 10 due weather. We'll call again circuit.
November Tango Kilo, copied. Traffic 0 India Delta, Kodiak departed Ira 4 Boykoa at time 01 on time 10,000, estimate Boykoa 0119.
Copy traffic, November Tango Kilo. Here's the end of the mountain, and it looks like it's opening up. I'm at the end, down by Andacombe. Looks like there might be just a lot of kind of clouds like we were said. So we will see what it's like. And this is why it's really important just to be like, yeah guys, we're going. Like, you just don't know like how the day just might have got screwed over. But it should open up even a little more when we get around this here. And we'll just see. We went 6,300, so let's go down to that and see. There's Andacombe in front of us.
Okay.
Yeah, see, now the valley's opening back up more. Straight ahead is Sendini, and then you can see that dark.
Sorry, what'd you say?
You can see the dark behind it. That's rain probably up in the valley behind Sendini.
Okay.
So we're not gonna muck around very much down here. We're just gonna like drop this stuff and go. This is Boykoa right here. That's where the SIL plane's going.
Okay.
We're going over there behind those clouds.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna get these guys off and then get on back out of here. This is where we're using up that extra 10 minutes of fuel that we didn't really, yeah, you just never know. All stations Sendini 1207, November Tango Kilo, 6 miles to the south, 6,300. Circuit time is time 08. 6,300, which we are now. We'll do bypass, yep, landing light done. Prop and harness, we'll do harnesses now. Hopefully the winds are going to remain nice. It looks like it's opened up enough. So it looks like there's lots of clouds, but these clouds typically don't just like poof, all of a sudden come in. I've seen it where they do, but I mean, it's so rare, and it's usually when it's associated with a lot of rain and stuff, when it's already kind of like, because we've landed out here and like 5 minutes later, clouds were coming in over the end of the runway. We were like, and one of them, we knew the valley was clear, but it was just a cloud right there. But it was closing in quick enough that we're just like, all right, we're going. We take off and push over off the end because it drops off like 2,500 feet all the way down to the water down here. So we just like took off and pushed over. There's the end of it, the valley down below. And then up here where you can see the ledge just drops off, it's right at the bottom of there. So this is already filled in, or this is already opened up a lot, so. Prop forward, let's call up a couple additional. Where's 6622, November Tango Kilo, in this circuit, and Denny, report after landing.
November Tango Kilo.
Alright, so I told her I'm going to report after landing because I'm not 100% sure we'll be landing. We've got 8 knots of wind here. We already talked about the runway. We're going to look for things that might be on the runway when we fly over it. We look to see if it's wet. It's been dry probably, so I'm not really worried about it being wet. And we're going to be checking the winds. So if the winds are going this way, which they are, then we can expect downdrafts on short final. Like after you're committed, you'll have downdrafts. So being super ready on the power to get those in so it doesn't catch you off guard and go, oh, what am I sinking? So here it is right here. There's pattern altitude. Doesn't look like the windsock's really doing much, but the winds up here are pointing that direction, so I'm going to expect downdrafts on short final. We'll go 10 degrees of flaps. Top and harness is done. Going 68 on final, 78 on base, 88 on downwind. So I'm a bit fast now. Pull my power so I can kind of enter into my downwind on the speeds that I want.
Okay.
And we'll touch down around the windsock, right? Yeah, right around where the windsock is. Already losing a little too much altitude that I didn't want to lose. Alright, so there's about... So looking up here, when it turns 0.9, then we'll start my turn. There's my turn now. For beam the numbers 20 degrees. We'll lose 300 feet here, down to 6,000. About 88 knots. Turn at the end of this runway over here. That's kind of where it's a good place to turn base. You'll see when I start turning. Hey, and then these other little trees down here with those houses, that's a good cue to like, that's where we want to turn final, because sometimes you can turn and you're like, oh, I'm not quite lined up how I wanted to be. 5,800 turning final. On to 78. If I'm not at the altitude before I get there, this is the time to do it. So I'm just going to pull the power, drop on down to my 5,800. So here you're like, oh, where do I turn? I want those full flaps. Checklist is complete. Turning final 5,800, slowing to 68 knots. We got a left crosswind, so I'm expecting downdrafts, short final. A little bit quick on the descent. I'm going to shallow that up so it's like 550-ish.
This one you come into frequently?
We used to, yeah, a lot.
500.
We're going to get a downdraft. Three knots headwind, 3 knots crosswind, continuing. Right here's about where you get it usually. Alright, we're committed.
500.
Right. Yeah, a little bit smoother landing here, huh?
Yeah.
You're gonna, if you land just downhill.
Yep.
Watch out, chicken, don't run in front of me. Fight the chicken across the runway. That's the wish. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch. My video just died there, probably overheated. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. Give it a thumbs up if you did. And see you guys next time. All right, you can shut those all off. Above the gate, off and feather. All right, let's get these guys out of here so we can get on.